welcome back to episode 3 of Sports and Laws. I am Coach Cody Balza. I got told by a apparent avid listener that since I technically am a high school coach, even though it is baseball and not football, I am a coach. So there is that.
Coach is a coach, baby. Coach is a coach. Put some respect on this man's name. He's more than a writer. More than a writer. And I am Coach Pierre.
So I guess we'll start off with today. The Panthers had an opportunity to really take a hold of the division and played a difficult Seattle Seahawks team and couldn't get it done. So, Coach Pierre, I'll let you take it from here because I know you probably have a lot to say
I do.
about
I
what
do.
happened.
Oh, I do. I do. I do. So let me start off with this. I'm gonna be very, very calm, but I have a lot of emotions that I've had time to step away, take it all in, and rewatch some of the things that happened. So I'm not so emotional this go around, but I just wanted everyone to understand that it's not personal for anything I'm about to say. It's just constructive criticism and things I have seen. So starting off with this is just a blown opportunity for the Panthers, a golden opportunity at home against a very good Seattle Seahawks team to clinch the division, especially when the scenario that most people did not expect of the Dolphins going and beating the Bucks happened. Now we're going to have to travel on the road to Tampa Bay and beat a team twice. And in the NFL, that's just a hard thing to do. It happens, absolutely happens. And this is the NFL. These are professional athletes. They can go out at on an away game and win this game, but you just put more pressure on yourself. You blew an opportunity that was presented to you. But that's almost the story of the Carolina Panthers this year of hitch and craziness and inconsistency. And now that the division is here, it's going to be a wonderful game. I don't expect a blowout on either side. It's going to be very competitive. I'm ready to predict that, but it was just unfortunate as a fan where we as a team did not do our job. We did not handle our business, and now, fortunate for us, the season isn't over, but it's just a missed opportunity. You're putting more pressure on yourself than what you needed to do. Um, and I'm going to go back to this thing where it's like season the moment. Um, I understand that this is a young team and they are learning and they are growing. And I've been saying that all year long. This is a young team, this young team. But at some point you have to grow up. You have to grow up and seize the moment when it's presented to you. At no point am I saying the Panthers are Super Bowl or bust, but this is a team that has been building all year long, and they've been building their momentum with turnovers. They've been building their momentum with their running game. They've been building their momentum with game-winning drives during the season, and it just stinks that that opportunity was not presented and taken advantage of. Watching this game, the other thing that killed momentum was the self-inflicted turnovers. Uh, the Panthers were able to intercept Sam Darnold twice, and the Carolina crowd was really into it. It was fantastic to watch on TV. JJ Watt had talked about that several times during the broadcast, and as a fan, I felt excited. Twitter was going crazy. Some of the forums were going crazy, so it felt like this was definitely an opportunity. And then one of the big turnovers happened was Chuba Hubbard. So if you don't remember that scenario, it was the Panthers intercept Sam Darnold, and they immediately respond with a Chuba Hubbard fumble. And fumbles happen, but it when you're running the football and that's your identity and the big source of your success, you have to take care of the football. And then another blown opportunity that killed momentum was Bryce Young throwing an interception. And watching that play, the safety read it perfectly. And Bryce Young, the safety ran it so well, he ran the route on McMillan. It was crazy to watch. And I'm going, what is Bryce looking at, dude? Look the safety off, and you're trying to throw it to McMillan. Throw it higher next time. He completely misread that, and now two bad turnovers killed the momentum, put the ball on Carolina's side of the field, and gave the Seahawks all the momentum, and they were able to punch it in and score 14 points off those turnovers. Carolina only scored 3, and they're in the red zone a few times and just did not punch it in. Another thing was the third down problems continue to happen. Carolina was 1 for 11, while Seattle was 9 for 16. And what's crazy is Carolina now has the second worst third down defense in the NFL in week 17. I told myself I'm going to be calm, but that's unexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
Good teams are good on third down because they handle their business in first and second down. And consistently, when you watch this team, ask yourself, what are they doing well during first and second down? They're doing decently throughout. They're not, but beside a few explosive plays, first and second down relatively is manageable for most teams, but it's not consistently manageable. There was a few third and longs. There was a few second and longs when you watch the film and the tape, but 9 for 16 just meant, oh, dumb penalties here, missed tackle there. And you can't just keep saying, oh, we're going to clean up next week, because next week now is a win or go home game. There is, after next week, there's no cleaning up. That's your season. So for them to win against Tampa Bay, you have to take care of your business in third down. So I have a lot more, but I just wanted to start off with let me go to coaching real quick. As a coach, there's a couple things that I saw that I was confused by, and here's what it is. So you understand that the Seattle Seahawks, they're a very talented team. Very talented team. Multiple Pro Bowlers versus your one Pro Bowler in J.C. Horn. Are you just coaching the game plan? Is your game plan to steal the game or just survive it? Because when I'm watching it on the offensive side, defense did fine. I mean, Seattle was held to 3 points by the first half. That's exactly where you want to be if you're Carolina. This is a high-powered offense. Sam Darnold is in the Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowler. Been elected by fans, coaches, and teammates and players. He is a Pro Bowler. But on the offensive side, there was not a whole lot of motion. They had a few things from Jimmy Horn. There was a few misdirection looks, but when you're playing a sound fundamental football team, you have to throw some misdirection. Know your personnel, and you're trying to steal possessions with turnovers, but also steal possessions by moving the chains. Moving the ball is critical in a game like this when you know you played against an elite defense. And the other thing with Bryce Young's total stat line, and I want to get this right. By the first half, he had 16 passing yards, but was 7 of 14. And at that point, he had no interceptions, but just 11 rushing yards. Why was there no deep shots to loosen some of the coverage? If you are a running football team, you complement your running team by throwing deep shots. And I understand that McDonald is a good coach. He's a phenomenal defensive mind, but you still have to put pressure on that side of the football. And there was no pressure. Everything was short, very few intermediate, and I saw one deep throw that I can remember. So again, as a coach, I know I'm outmanned right now. So I'm going to go almost guerrilla warfare and find every opportunity to move the football successfully, or at least put pressure back on a very talented defense. And if we lose, we lose, but at least I'm going guns blazing. And again, I'm going to say it. No. I'm going to say it. Did we just think, okay, if we win, great. We win great. Awesome. But if we lose, we still have Tampa Bay in our back pocket. And I hope that's not the case because you got guys on that team who are battling hard, young players who are firing on all cylinders and just busting their tails, especially Nick Gordon. Dude, that dude has gotten better every single week. And I'm so proud of a player like him because as a second round guy, he didn't get all the love and adulation that McMillan got. But my gosh, he is working hard and he's doing the best he can. But you're wasting performances like that because on the offensive side, you're playing it safe. Stop playing safe. That's how you lose. Stop playing safe and go for it. So I'm going to stop there before I get into it a little bit more. But that's my biggest frustration as a fan. Do we play it safe because we thought we had Tampa Bay next week and it was no matter what happened this week, we're fine? Or were we just outcoached? That's where I'm at. Do we play it safe or were we outcoached? Go ahead, Cody.
That's it. It kind of reminds me, like when you brought up the whole place, like, are we playing like if we win, great. If not, we still, Tampa Bay still in the back pocket.
Oh, that's human nature. You tell anybody,
yeah.
oh, you got the safe option in it with somewhere else. A lot of people are gonna take the safe option. Not a whole lot of dudes are dog enough to go for it and just be darn the consequences.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It reminds me of the end of the Colts season in 2021, whenever we go and we beat New England, and then we go to Arizona and beat a good Cardinals team and put us in a position where we just have to win.
Oh, that was
one of the last two games. One of the last two games to get in, and you play a mediocre at best Oakland, or I don't remember if they were Oakland or Vegas, the Raiders at that point.
Right.
Play the Raiders, and they were, like I said, mediocre at best. And then you go into the laughing stock of the league of Jacksonville, which, if you know anything about the Colts, Jacksonville, it's not good.
Yeah,
but
which has always been surprising to me. Like, yeah. that has to be a whole like science thing or documentary. I don't know if it's a warm weather. I don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead, man.
If it's a documentary, I don't want to watch it. But you have the Raiders at home, and it's like, you're the better team, probably the better team, and like you said, the Seahawks are a very good football team, but
good team, top five.
It was the same thing, and like we've said multiple times on here, it's like it's NFL. Anyone could beat anyone. It doesn't matter. Like, heck, you guys, Panthers beat the Rams this year. Panthers beat the Packers this year. So anything could happen, especially when you're playing at home as well. It's not like this game was in Seattle.
Correct.
Either.
So and you had the come out. Yeah, go ahead.
You come out and you're like, you have, like you said, the home field advantage already. And it's just like you come out flat and you really don't know why. And then you put yourself kind of back against the wall going up next week against a team that's scuffling. But then if you get beat there, it's the last week of the season and there's no rebounding after that. Like, if it's the last week of the season, like, hey, you got to do something, like you said, there after that, like, that is your season. There's no bounce back next week after that.
There's no tomorrow. No matter what happens, there's no tomorrow.
No. It almost seems like, too, like last week when we were talking with the Panthers and we were kind of saying, like, the Bryce play it safe, and then he ended up throwing it 30 times. I mean, it seems like they kind of took that into this week. Granted, I don't know really what conditions were, but I mean, Bryce only threw it.
There wasn't anything that told you, oh, we can't throw. A little windy, but it wasn't anything too bad.
Yeah, but he only threw it 24 times, and like you said, he had 16 passing yards going into after the first half. I mean, he only ended up with 54, but it's not like the running part of the offense was any better, because I mean, Dowdle had 59 yards on 12 attempts. That's leading rusher, and then it's just kind of by committee after that. Hubbard had 12. I mean, their second leading rusher again was Bryce Young with 27. So like you said, if it is coaching, it's just kind of like what exactly was the game plan coming into today?
Right. And there was no creativity that I saw like that. It goes back to what I've said about the bye week, and I thought that was a missed opportunity for the Panthers coaching staff, where you have the opportunity with a young team to almost go, hey, you get a couple days off, you get a 3 days off, right? Hey, take the time you need. But when we get back after those 3 or 4 days, we are going to just rep some things and add some new wrinkles to our playbook. and I saw no wrinkles. Like what's frustrating is um Canales, he is from the Pete Carroll coaching tree. He was at Seattle for years. I think over a decade for sure. I think if I remember right, 12 to 13 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When he's there, there's a couple things he took well. The big thing was naming of the days. That's where Victory Monday for us comes in, right? And I love Canals as a coach and as a people guy. You watch him on the sideline, dudes love him, respect him, understand what he's about. The thing that I want to see more from him is some of that creativity that all young offensive minds have. If you're an offensive coach, it's very unlikely that you are not somewhat of a creative mind. And you're going to do a good job of drawing up a scheme, finding ways to run that scheme in different ways, and then you're going to be able to put that scheme and teach, and that's the key, teach that scheme to multiple players so that no matter who's in the offense, you can run it. Because at the end of the day, like as you know, as a guy who follows a team that has an offensive minded coach, their scheme is their scheme. That's what got them to the dance. That's how they have
Mm-hmm.
the big HC title next to their name. That title of head coach is because of that scheme and who they are as men. And from Canales this year, multiple times, the games they've lost, I've seen no creativity from him. And that's the most frustrating thing because I know he has it. There's been a few times where I've gone, oh, okay. A couple times in the Miami game, there was a couple new wrinkles and formations that I went, where has this been? Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I will not be as a fan. I'm not mad at the defense a whole lot. Yes, every defense can always play better. I would love a shutout, yada yada yada. But I'm not mad at them for forcing 2 turnovers, getting 3 sacks, and multiple batted passes. The defense held up. They held Seattle to 3 points in the first half. That, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
that we're in the game. We're fine. Hey, let's go get it up. I'm not even mad at Bryce Young. You know how much credit I know with Bryce Young. I know what Bryce Young is. I've accepted it. The man is never going to be the top 5 quarterback in this league, but he's going to be a guy who we can build around. We're going to win with, never because. And when we ask him to put when we put too much on his plate, he may not be able to handle it. So I'm not even mad at him. I just feel like this season isn't a failure, but we cannot squander opportunities like this because next year the schedule's going to be a little bit harder because of our record. Next year the schedule is going to be if we make the playoffs, we're going to be a playoff team who's going to have to play a little tougher schedule. And I don't want us to go back after having an unsuccessful season and we have to go back to the drawing board and have our owner, David Tepper, look around and go, well, why didn't we make the playoffs this year? We were right there. And all of a sudden feel like he needs to medal because this has been a very successful season because it all starts with the top. Our owner is letting our football guys be football guys, which I'm really appreciative of. Dan Morgan has done a good job. They need another draft and a good free agency for them to really excel and to hit where they can be. And in my estimation, take a true look at what Bryce Young's ability is. And I'm just really it just hurts because things were laid out and it felt as though once Seattle was up 2 scores, things just started to spiral and guys were looking next week, and that can never be the case. The defense gave us plenty of opportunities. We just didn't complete them. It just looked like the offense and the staff was not ready for this moment. And it's frustrating because I can't be the only fan who sees like that. There are a couple other fans who I've seen on Twitter mention a couple things that I liked, and I understand. And now we have to go to Tampa Bay because we didn't handle our business this week. And that's frustrating when if we just did what we could do, we're fine. So,
And kind of like you said, if you do make it to the playoffs, you're going to have that harder schedule next year.
mm-hmm.
And just kind of from the looks of it, that division's not going to get any easier either, because the Bucks are always going to be, they're going to be the Bucks. They're going to be, they're going to be fiery. They're going to be stingy, and that's just how they've always been here the last few years.
Absolutely.
The Falcons, you never know what you're going to get, because like the beginning of this year, we thought,
Mhm.
hey, they might be the team coming out of, especially after beating the Bills on
Yep.
Monday Night Football, and it's kind of been downhill from there. It's just all going to depend on what Penix really ultimately pans out to be,
Yep.
and then the Panthers, like all about that, but then like honestly, after watching today, the Saints, they might be just a few pieces away from competing in the division.
My fear for like the Bucks scare me for multiple reasons, but I just think they're getting a little older, and the
Yeah.
Falcons are too herky jerky for me right now. But they're so talented offensively, especially with Robinson in the backfield, that they're yeah, the Panthers beat them twice, and gave them a zero burger at the start of the season. But Penix, this next year's going to be a make or break season for him, and he
Mm-hmm.
knows it. He's just older, and that offense isn't going to get any younger. They're going to lose a couple pieces. I think Kyle Pitts is going to get a big payday from somebody.
Somebody.
I don't think the Falcons will have the cap room to sign him. But as a fan, as a Panther fan, the thing that scares me right now is the Saints because they have a lot of money. Shuck is going to be a perfect bridge quarterback for them, and he's not bad. Obviously, beat the
No.
Panthers twice. So if they hit on the draft, they're finally getting out of that cap hell that they have put themselves in during the Drew Brees, Sean
Mm-hmm.
Payton era. That they've the release valve is finally emptying out, and they're going, okay, we can breathe. And Kamara, yeah, Kamara's out, but if they get rid of him, they're going to be able to bring somebody else. If they trade him, they're going to get a decent,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to get some pieces back for a guy like him. Same with Cam Jordan. If they trade him, they're going to get some pieces back. So that's the team that I'm really nervous about because they could be a good offseason in a good a good offseason with a draft class and a couple key signings to where they're in the position that the Panthers are in and they've already beaten them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the team that I'm worried about.
If I'm Kansas City, I am smashing the button to see what the price is on Kamara,
Oh,
trying to get
absolutely.
him over there.
Oh,
And then they're
absolutely.
they're another team that I think, just kind of depending, in my opinion, I think this is Kelsey's last year. Just
Hmm.
I think there probably could be another one that could give Kyle Pitts that big payday.
Right.
So, but other if they would do that, I mean, it's just the turns out the Chiefs dynasty is not over. It just took a year off.
Yeah.
If they can do that,
Hmm.
but like I said, and with Shuck, I mean, he might not be that bridge quarterback. He might turn out to be that quarterback for them,
Oh,
because what they've won, 5 games in a row now with him
yep.
ever since. Granted, the schedule's probably not too difficult, but you never know.
And
The
it
guy
won't
can
be
only grow and develop.
and it won't be too bad next year.
No.
It won't be. I I don't. I'm still waiting to see a couple things from Shuck. I know part of it. The way I look at him is, I don't see him being a long term because of his age. He's 26
Yeah.
right now, and he's had some of those injury concerns. But Penix
Hmm.
is was he 20? Penix is 25. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying that age is a huge factor. I just feel as though there is a limit to what he can do, but that limit can still hurt. Like, he has a good arm. He's mobile. He's seen the field well. Like, he clearly is using that time in college and some of that experience. And the guys like him. That's the other thing I noticed too is when you have a quarterback that dudes actually rock with and want to be around, anytime that he
Hmm.
scores or you guys score, guys are jumping over and excited and so on and so forth. And it's easy when you're the star quarterback like a Mahomes or Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But if you're a dude like Shuck, who, what I mean, you're grinding, you're working hard, and you're just out there, if dudes are coming over to celebrate with you, that means that they believe in you. I I'll be honest with you, and this is not a shot at this dude, but Spencer Rattler, that wasn't happening with him. That
I've I've
that
never
was
liked
not.
his attitude since the
Oh,
the Netflix
no,
documentary
that
came
was
out on him.
that thing coming out was like the worst thing that ever happened to a dude. because it went from
Yeah.
like I specifically remember him being, oh, this dude's a future NFL quarterback and yada yada yada, and then that whole thing comes out and you're just like, I wouldn't I wouldn't be that. I would hate to be that guy's teammate. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with this dude?
Especially with him being that young and that coming out, like
Hmm.
just kind of the mind games of plays with you as a, 16, 17, heck, maybe even 18-year-old kid. And then he went to South Carolina first or Oklahoma first?
Oklahoma, then South Carolina.
Oklahoma, then South Carolina.
Because
So like you're
remember,
going to visit.
Caleb Williams took his job
That's right.
against that Texas. You should
Yeah,
remember.
that's right. Yeah, I do. But it's like, even in like if you look at that show, he's showing up to practice, high school practice, like in all of his college gear. And I just
Yeah,
specifically remembering the high school coach going, he's saying, dude, you're not at Oklahoma yet. You still got a lot to do here. And him just kind of blowing it off. It's kind of like, do I want that guy trying to lead this team to actually do something?
right. And you can't win with a guy like that. Do you remember the famous Mike Singletary? Can't win with them. Can't win. We can win without them. Do you remember that? You
Mm-hmm.
old enough? Okay. It's about Vernon Davis. Did you hear the story about that?
No.
So, and let me get my facts right because I wanna get this right because I like Vernon Davis. Good
Yeah.
dude. Uh, uh, hold on. I want to make sure I got all the facts. So Vernon Davis had a crappy attitude during practice and stuff, and it got to the point to where he had a couple unnecessary roughness penalties, and Coach Singletary took him out, and he was like, he had the famous "I won't win" or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Like Vernon Davis spoke to that and said, "Hey, the way he talked to me was probably one of the first times a coach actually addressed me because Vernon Davis was a freak athlete as a tight end."
Yes.
Ran like a 4.4, um, 6'4", could do whatever he wanted on the field. And granted, I mean, when you're in high school, college, and even in his early days in the pros, that made sense. Like, hey, he's our best receiver, so on and so forth. But Singletary calling him out in that press conference made him go, okay, I am this my manhood's being questioned,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to figure out, do I actually, what I mean? Do I want to be a good teammate? Do I actually want to be a dude that dudes actually like? And he said
Yeah.
that it's turned his life around, and he eventually won the Super Bowl with the Broncos. And that always goes back to, no matter how talented you are, if you're a good teammate, dudes are gonna rock with you.
Yeah.
If you're a good player, dudes are always going to be want you on their team until you're not a good teammate. So that be a
Yeah.
good teammate at all times, because no matter if you're up or down or so on and so forth, that's going to be the thing that holds that team together no matter what happens. Um,
And that's
I
how I felt about Daniel Jones being the court. It just seemed like there was just a whole different vibe around the Colts whenever whenever Jones was,
Mhm.
starting and all that. Like it was good times. And then whenever he got hurt, it just went downhill fast. Like obviously injuries are gonna hurt any team, especially when it's your starting quarterback. But it just seemed like the whole morale of the team just went sideways after that happened.
And it makes sense. I mean, they lit those guys, as you know, saw their season slipping away, and
Hmm.
their options were limited. That's why you had to
Yeah.
bring in Uncle Phil, and we'll get to Uncle Phil pretty soon. But
Yeah.
I'm, it's impressive to see how much that psychological component impacts guys like that in the professional level, because when you're, there's only so many levels between good and great players, that psychological edge is sometimes just what you need, even if you're not even that talented. That's why I
Yeah.
love that that's why I think the Panthers are where they are now, because they're just so freaking young that they don't even know that they shouldn't even be in this position. That's why they're so inconsistent, because
Hmm.
they're just trying to figure it out. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
well, how are we being outgunned right now? Well, we're just going to keep battling, keep pounding. We're going to keep doing the things that we're coached to do, and hopefully it works out in the end. And it has. Like, I mean, the season is not a failure. They're 8-8. They're having successful. They are in meaningful football games at the end of the season, which is what you want for any team, especially a young team like this. And
Right.
I think today's game, if there's a lesson to be learned, is the famous quote of um, hard work beats
Hard
talent
work.
when talent doesn't work hard. Well, the talented team was working hard today against the team that just works hard. And
Hmm.
for the fan, for this is a clear indicator that the Panthers, to go where they need to go, they're going to need some talented guys who are willing to work hard. That's why, no matter, I want them to make the playoffs so bad, so bad. So I'm not even going to say the other thing, but when they make the playoffs, when they make the playoffs this offseason, they're going to have to load in with some veteran leadership. And I'm going to keep saying it because it's going to be so true and so fundamentally important for these guys. They're going to need to get some veteran leadership and some talented players who are willing to buy into the system. So,
Hmm.
before we take a break, I wanted to just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hope your teams are battling hard and staying healthy throughout the season and are going to make the playoffs. And if they're not, um, just like just like a meme I'll post later, um, John Cena face. At least the ride was fun this season because football is fun. So we'll go. We'll go ahead and take a
For
quick
some
break.
people.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get to you next.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll get back. All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody, we are back. So, now obviously multiple games that were happening during this week 17, but our number one Colts fan here is going to give us his perspective. So, Mr. Coach Bowser, what did you see in today's Colts performance?
Well, I will say that Saturday hurt more than Sunday because now any team that the Colts needed to win over these last few weeks to try to give any help whatsoever in 18 games decided to go 0-18. If you count the Colts, it is actually 0-24. Yeah, 0-24 if you throw them into that mix. So that's definitely not a winning recipe. So I mean, you come into today and it's like, well, at least try to play spoiler, especially your last two games are against teams in your division. And you're going up against probably one of the hottest, if not the hottest offense in the NFL coming into today.
Yep.
And then in the beginning of the game, defense came out hot today. Like in my previous article that I wrote, it's like if the Colts want to try to make one last stand to try to get into the playoffs with these last two games, their defense has to step up. And getting Sauce back today really helped. It helped everywhere. It helped pass rush. It helped in the secondary. Granted, he ended up leaving the game early with a calf injury again. It's still kind of unclear if it's the same one that he aggravated earlier.
Right.
But they got one. It was Jacksonville's first drive. They got a key turnover in the red zone. It was kind of a fluke turnover. It was ball over the middle, and I don't remember if it was Washington or Myers caught pass on a simple crossing route, tried a lateral to ETN. I guess ETN just wasn't quite ready for it or wasn't in the position, fumbled it inside the 20. Colts ended up recovering it. So, you get an early turnover in the red zone like that's going to build confidence for the rest of the game. First drive on offense, I kind of figured, or I thought that the offensive game plan would be similar to last week with Phil throwing the ball quite a bit. I mean, granted, he still ended up throwing it 30 times, but it was very clear that it was going to be run heavy first. Like the first drive, I think we ran the ball 8 or 9 times on the first drive alone, and got us down the red zone. Ended up kicking a field goal, take 3-0 lead, and then we end up going up. Let's see, I think it was 10-0. Yeah, it was 10-0 at one point, and then after that, the offense kind of went stagnant. After that, really wasn't any intermediate shots taken today. It was all short passes and try to run the ball with JT, but it just Jacksonville's defense eventually just locked in on it and nothing was really working. Colts ended up getting a big turnover again in the red zone right before half, picking off Trevor Lawrence out on a ball in the end zone to take away a touchdown right before the half ended. So there was that. So I feel like the defense came in and stepped up and did their job today. Let's see, they only gave final score of the game was 23-17. So I mean,
Mhm.
you're in the game
You're in the
the whole
game.
time.
Yeah.
23, and the last one was a late field goal. So
Mhm.
all in all, like I said, yes, you still want to win football games. That's obviously the goal in the NFL. Because I mean, what do the Colts have to tank for? We don't have a first round pick.
Right.
So basically, right now you're playing for pride, and you're playing to kind of see what you got coming in the next season. Uh, I think this defense still has the opportunity to be very good with some minor adjustments. And like we talked about before, with this being Lou's first year in the system, I think some things will get kind of ironed out. And now that he knows what he has through a full season, I think there will be some more moves made this
Mhm.
offseason to really, I think, a pass rusher, and then we have to find an answer at linebacker.
Yeah.
It's not and at this point, I know Zaire's been one of the quote unquote staples of our defense, one of our defensive leaders. But I'm at the point where I'd rather see Jermaine Pratt come back and get the Mike title, get the green sticker, and be the leader of that defense at that position. But yeah, pass rush was I haven't seen that pass rush all year. So like they came out good. Like kind of in the beginning, Lawrence had no answer for it. Like that they struggled at the end, and but then like when Jacksonville started finally making a little bit of noise on offense, it was the long sustained drives. It
Mhm.
wasn't anything flashy. It wasn't anything deep down the field. We're just going to keep punching you in the mouth until you finally break. And that's been kind of my kind of mentality for the Colts offense or defense all year is the bend, don't break. Like, yeah, we almost shut out the Dolphins on week one, but the way our defense is set up, we're not you're not going to shut out many teams in the NFL. It's just not going to happen.
No.
There's these guys are professionals for a reason. Like they're going to
Mhm.
score, and even like if you take in the cold garbage time, like something's going to happen. But the Colts were always successful in the red zone this year, defensive wise. Like I said, bend don't break.
Mhm.
You can win a game, but with your defense only giving up, 3 or 4 field goals a
Correct.
game, usually, unless you give up 6 like you did in Seattle. But that's things like that. Things like that are going to happen.
Right.
But before the injuries really started piling on, I really thought before the injuries and adding Sauce to the mix, this defense I really thought was, I don't know if it was a Super Bowl winning caliber defense on paper, and you look at it, you think yes, but at me as a fan and paying attention to how this defense has played and just how the patterns have been, I know that it probably wasn't, but you'd like to think it was.
Mhm.
And like our where we were relying was the Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor going out and scoring 40 points a game, because that's what it was the first
Right.
10 weeks of the season.
Mhm.
So it was like if our defense, like I said, bend, don't break. If you can just allow field goals, a touchdown, whatever, your offense is going to be able to win the game. Uh, but then the whole fibula fracture to Jones, and then ultimately leading to the Achilles. You really needed your defense to step up because you weren't going to score 40 points a game. You were going to be lucky to get 25 to 28 points a game.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what it's been. We led the league in scoring all year until the after the Kansas City game, and then after that it's just been kind of, man, it's like, are we even going to score 20 points
Right.
this game? Because like the games we lost, like 23 to Jacksonville, let's see, and then granted San Francisco blew the doors off everything. uh
Mhm.
See, and then Seattle the week before, like Seattle only given up under 20 points to lose to Seattle. So it's like your defense has stepped up, but then it's just the offense shows up one day, defense doesn't. Defense shows up one day, offense doesn't. It's a revolving door that somebody's gonna have to fix.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump on the train and say it's not gonna be Chris Ballard. I
Ooh.
I it's been the same.
Okay.
It's been the
Okay.
same the same situation for going on 10 years now.
Okay.
The
Hold
the
on.
only exception was 2020
Right.
when Phil was there. But you look at it like, and everybody's always like, "Oh, but you don't have two first round draft picks. How are you going to get a new GM with no two?" Ballard hasn't hit in the first round. Almost like all of his talent that he's drafted has been second rounders. So, and like maybe, and like
Now,
I
now
still have hope for AR and Latu that they
correct.
can
So
come
yeah,
around.
that was my next question. So then, beside AR, Latu, what are your other first rounders that you've
To be
drafted?
honest, I think half of them aren't even on the team anymore. If I
Ooh,
really think, I didn't really have a list coming. It's just kind of
no.
something that I read on
You're good. You're good.
X.
Let me. You go ahead. Keep talking. I'm gonna look this up. Colts
At
first
at
round draft
some
pick.
point, granted, we've made changes at head coach.
Right.
We pulled Jeff Saturday off of an ESPN set, and Jim Irsay's like, I don't like what I see, and Jeff Saturday's like, well, yeah, no, I don't either. And he's like, you know what, Jeff, you're our new head coach. It's kind of like the one meme you see all the time. It's the guy sitting on the couch. He's like, me, like, yeah, Jeff, you're, and that caused a whole stir in itself. And then, Frank Reich had those couple good years, and
Uh-huh.
that didn't pan out. I thought Frank Reich was going to get Carson Wentz back to MVP form.
Oh, he
I was
it,
wrong about that.
no, but he didn't play bad. Like what I've noticed is, and hold on, I have it up, but let me finish this point. Watching your team, you got your offense. Your offense is structured correctly. Your
Mhm.
running game is set up nicely, and you guys do a good job of attacking the field where it needs to be. But it seems like for whatever reason, and again, part of it is what I saw today was Uncle Phil just again, he's 44 and
Yeah.
he's just trying to like you could tell he's not where he was. I think even
Mhm.
35-year-old Phil Rivers is able to elevate some of these guys that you guys
Yeah.
have right now. And I really want you guys to, and it's going to have to be a second or third round pick with Riley Leonard. And if you can shoot, if Phil Rivers wants to come back, and I'm only saying this because I don't know the Anthony Richardson situation, and I don't know if you guys keep Daniel Jones with that Achilles injury, unfortunately. But if he wants to come back, he may not be a bad guy just to come in, bring it. And this has happened because I looked it up. The last guy was a corner for the Broncos. I forgot his name is escaping me, but he could be a player coach. But
Mhm.
that's if the if no offense to your team, but if there was a team that said, "Hey, there's," I give you one guess on their roster, they have a guy who's a player and a coach. Who would you think would
Uh,
do that?
Philip Rivers, yeah. And I
That's all I'm saying. Um,
I have seen a lot of things about that. It's like maybe we just hire him to come be on the staff
mm-hmm.
and everything like that. And it's like that wouldn't be a terrible idea. And I don't disagree with that. I think it could be good to have him just around and
That's
everything.
it.
I think he can help AR. I think he can help
His
Riley Leonard.
his mind, I've been really impressed with. Like
Yeah.
it's just the athletic ability just isn't there anymore, but his mind is there still. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so Warren this past year, then
Okay.
Latu,
Yeah.
Richardson. You guys did not have a pick in 2020. In 2020, um, that pick ended up being Jahad Dotson. Pay
Hmm.
in 21, no pick. That pick ended up being used by the Bucks, and they drafted Tristan Wirfs. Then the 2019, that pick was not used. It was used for the Reds. Almost said the Reds one with the Commanders. Don't want to be canceled here. This is our third episode. It was in Washington. Ended up using it for Montez Sweat and then Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
Because you got because Ballard took over in 18, right? 18 or
Yeah.
19.
18.
18. So Quentin Nelson was his first pick. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say about half those guys. Yeah, half those guys are on the roster
I
because
mean,
they weren't even selected.
they weren't even our picks. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like it's like they want to key in on these two picks that Ballard traded away. It's kind of like, hey, look back. He's not shy about doing it.
Hmm.
Because like I don't know, because we traded was it one, it was either one or two to Philly for Carson Wentz.
According to this, it was just the one. But again,
Just the one.
that's the first round pick.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
probably look it up
I
with
think it
it.
was just the one.
Uh-huh.
But Quiddy Pay, he's regressed. Quentin Nelson's still doing his thing. Quentin Nelson's still, and like I really think Tyler Warren's going to be a probably top three tight end in the league. So there's hope for them yet. But like Latu, we still really don't know. Granted, it's only his second year.
Right.
Still really don't know what we got with him. It's like, can he actually get to the quarterback or not? And then we don't need to go on another tangent about Anthony Richardson. I think we've done.
It
Yeah.
always comes back to Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson.
Yeah. And like I said, we've had, from Chuck Pagano
Mhm.
to Frank Reich to Jeff Saturday for that half year and to Shane Steichen. And it's the same outcome every year. What is the one variable that hasn't changed?
Yeah, your GM.
Chris Ballard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say we have a different owner now. I mean, technically we do, but
Right.
it wasn't it's Jim Irsay passed.
Hmm.
His family took over the team, which I am not clamoring for the Irsays to sell the team. I think the big three, Carly and her two sisters, are going to do great things. And I one thing I do want to ask, if any Colts fans are listening, get off the case of her being on the sideline. If she wants to be on the sideline, let her be on the sideline. That has nothing to do. It's like, well, when they were winning at school, but now that they're losing, it's a bad thing. It's no, she's trying to figure out,
Right.
exactly what's going on.
Right.
And she's even come out and said like she likes listening to the headset with the play call sheet, because if she's going to be hiring and firing these people and all that, she needs to know a day by day what everything means, what's going on, and what's going to help this team succeed.
Yeah.
So if she wants to,
Hmm.
dress up, get on the sideline, more power to her. I
Hmm.
honestly think it's good because it shows that your owner she's not meddling by any means. Like, it's not like she's in Steichen's ear or anything like that, but it shows that she's invested
Right.
in it, on the product that's on the field, and she actually cares about what's going on.
And again, I'm not a fan. You are. So as long as you, as the fan, are okay with that, I think
Yeah.
everyone should go. I understand it. And again, now there will be a line of demarcation if you all of a sudden reports coming out like Ursay is, she's out there, in the middle of play calls trying to figure like, okay, like let at
Yeah.
that point just let's record what we say or something and then we'll figure it out later. But
Right.
give me a quick second. I'll be right back. Sorry. Hold on.
So yeah, like you said, if it comes out and she is meddling, I think then there can be, I don't think she has to stop completely, but I think there could be like a sit down. It's like, hey, look at the Panthers situation. He kind of meddled. Things started, not being so good. He went hands off, and things looked better. So that's really all I got to say on that point. But if Ballard does leave, to be honest, I really don't know who could take his job. I haven't looked too much into,
Do you think
what who
Ballard
could be.
like do you think Ballard gets hired by somebody? Do you think someone else picks him up? Do you think you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
I look at it as like almost a Mike Tomlin situation where if Mike Tomlin's in the free agent market as
he's
head
getting
coach,
picked up right
he's getting
away.
picked up. Like I don't even know if he leaves the tarmac of Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? So do you
Mm-hmm.
think that Ballard gets the same situation treatment from a team that goes, hey, the coach let him go. He was kind of given a crummy situation or unfortunate luck.
I do think unfortunate luck has a lot to do with it. I mean, the word is in the
No,
statement, unfortunate luck. Yeah. Uh I really don't know, because like there was issue I don't want to say issues, but like he wasn't that really hot of a name coming out of Kansas City really either. And then when he got here, like you said, it's been mediocre at best. A few seasons we went 9-8, 8-9. It's just, kind of that water finding its level eventually. And
And you've only
I
made the playoffs with him twice, right? As your GM?
once,
Once?
yeah, the 2020 year with Phil.
Okay. I thought you guys also made it because you lost to Kansas City. That's next round, didn't you? Wasn't there?
No, no, Phil, we lost to Buffalo in the
You
wild
lost to
card round.
Buffalo, but then there was the
No,
next.
2018. 2018, you're right. Yeah, 2018, we lost to Kansas City. Yes,
Okay, okay, but
that's what it was.
that was
So
in this first
that
two
was his first year.
first year,
His
and then
first
you
year
guys made the playoffs again that next year.
in 2020.
Yeah,
We say we didn't make it in 19, but they made it
19,
in
but you did
20.
20. So okay, so
Yeah.
his first 3 years you made the
So
playoffs twice, and then
plus
after
twice. So
that, no.
it's been, like I said, been a steady dose of 8, 9, 9, and 8, and
Mhm.
then the weird 4, 11 in 1 year.
That was weird.
Yeah,
Yep, that did
it's
happen.
like kind of going back to like the Colts putting Philip Rivers back in, coming back as coaching staff management. Like I read today that Matt Ryan is seriously considering a role in the Falcons, like front office. Like if Phil can find a role like that with the Colts, I think that could be good.
Mhm.
But as far as a direct, like replacement for Ballard, I really wouldn't even know where to start on who would even be up for it.
Right,
That's above my pay grade. For that, I can only react to who it is, if it's even changed at all.
right.
I I think something needs to change, and I think it should be could be Ballard. It probably should be because I put a tweet out today, and I was like, to whom it may concern, Shane Steichen is not the issue.
No, no. I already
No,
told you I'm impressed with your offense and how
yeah,
everything is the skeletons of your offense and even your defense looks fine. Like I'm not it I don't think you guys are schemed up badly. I don't think your play call has been horrible. It's just
no,
things just haven't worked out, which happens.
yeah,
I obviously it just comes down to sometimes you just need better players.
yeah. I think that's a big issue we have. It's our depth,
Hmm.
offensive depth. Besides that quarterback, we have it. I
Hmm.
think quarterback, and then I'd probably go a little bit on the offensive line. But as far as skill players goes, depth we are good in.
Yeah.
So I think bringing in a different guy that can really shore up that depth, because you think of like all the teams that make your deep postseason runs, Bills, Chiefs, all of that. Those teams are built basically on depth. I mean,
Hmm.
besides probably at quarterback because they got two of the game's best over there. So quarterback is probably like the least of their worries.
Hmm.
But as far as every other position, they're tight knit. It's I don't want to yeah, next man up mentality. If somebody goes down, somebody else is going to be there to take their place. I mean, you kind of look at the Chargers this year; they really went all in on their offensive line to protect Herbert, but they almost 75% of them got hurt. Joe Alt's out for the year, and Herbert's been sacked the most
And then
all year
Slater's
this year.
been yeah, Slater was hurt
Yeah.
early the first thing in the season, and then they traded for the tackle from the Saints, and he's hasn't really worked out like they thought
Mm-hmm.
that he has. And Herbert, like you said, is one of is the most sack quarterback in the league this year. And
Yeah.
that graphic that was flying around, it's not even really his fault. Like it's just
No.
I have no time to throw, or I have no
No.
time to find my guy, so I'm just getting killed.
Yeah.
Did you see that clip of gosh, I was gonna send this to you. There's a clip of the meme saying that, oh, this is gonna be Herbert in about 2 years if this happens, and this the picture of Andrew Luck like crying on this. Yeah. I
between
know.
between him and Joe Burrow, it's like
Oh,
who's it going to be first?
dude, that 2020 draft class, that all those dudes, the story of their career is going to be we were never protected and we were hurt. Because Hurts, I don't, yes, Hurts was a 2020 guy, but right? Hurts was 2020. I'm not making that up. He was 2020.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was 2020, but he was a second rounder. Like he already went to
Yeah,
a stacked team that won a Super Bowl. Those other
yeah,
three guys, they came in as saviors, and they've all had their moments. Obviously, Burrow went to Super Bowl. Herbert's still considered top five quarterback, and Tua at one point led the league in passing.
hmm
But injuries and the inability to be protected, it's going to be the legacy of those guys if this continues because it's
Yeah.
crazy. Crazy.
And I kind of touching on a point like what we're gonna do like a quarterback next year. If we don't bring back Daniel Jones, I have seen all I needed to see. You write Malik Willis kind of a check for
Oh,
whatever he wants,
yes. Yeah. Dude.
and you let him come to Indy.
Hey, Malik Willis this offseason better be somebody better bring me my money because
Yeah,
he's going to get paid by somebody.
I
Eight.
seen multiple Packers people like on Twitter and stuff like, does our offense run better with Malik Willis at starting quarterback than Jordan Love? And they had a bunch of stats behind it, and it's like, well, the numbers kind of show that it does,
Mhm. And
but
obviously
it's
you'll
like, but
never. Yeah, they paid Love, they invested in Love, but
yeah,
but I keep just hearing Brady over and over say Willis's delivery and his mechanics are solid, which just means he has a
mm-hmm.
good foundation. And clearly upstairs, like he didn't make a bad mistake against the Bears. It was just the dude didn't get the ball. Like it was a series of unfortunate events at the end of that game to where the Packers should have won, but they didn't. Did
Yeah,
did uh oh the Packers they played the Ravens and they got killed, right? Like it was like 40.
yeah. It was close there for a while, but then once
Yeah,
Malik went down, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't tell you who their third string quarterback
And
was.
that's exactly what I was about to say. It was like the score wasn't really indicated about what happened because yeah, they got killed, but the Packers defense, Derrick Henry ran through him like a high school varsity athlete versus a bunch of eight, eight 8 year
It,
olds. Like it
it
was
was a
not good.
prime King Henry performance.
Like I did not expect that from him, and I'm glad I didn't play against the guy in the championship league of fantasy football with Henry on the roster because that was brutal. That was brutal to
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, but like if if it's Ballard or whoever, I look at that, it's like, at this point, what do you have to? Because you have to compete
Hmm.
next year because you don't have your 2027 draft pick either.
Hmm.
So it's like, all right, this is a guy. He's more than earned that spot to try to get a starting job
Right.
somewhere. You have the biggest question mark ever at your quarterback position. Bring him in, and if he looks good, he starts. If he looks good, but Anthony Richardson looks better, there's your answer right
Bingo.
there. And because I don't foresee a situation where they bring Jones and Malik Willis in.
No.
I think it's gonna be one or the other. And in all honesty, I think it will be Daniel Jones just
Mhm.
because of what Steichen knows he has, what the
Yep.
Colts as an organization knows they have in him, and then with the recovery timetable not being as long as they thought it
Oh
was
yeah.
going to be, because they said it was going to be like a 9 to 10 month
Yeah.
recovery.
That's
Turns
what
out
it
it's only going to be
usually
six.
is.
It's only going to be like 6 to 8. So he'll be
Oh.
ready by the time training camp and
Hmm.
everything is
And
starting.
then you can slow play him anyway
Yeah.
because at that point it's like okay, we don't need to rush anything. Get him into a preseason game if he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I would.
Just to make sure he's
Okay,
ready by week 1.
yeah,
So that's why I'm thinking Daniel Jones will be back.
okay.
In all honestly, I really hope he's back,
Hmm.
just for the mentality, like we said earlier, the locker room around it. Like
Hmm.
everybody rallied around the guy, and then he's still been on this, besides the one game in Seattle, because he was in New York having surgery. He's
Hmm.
still been on the sideline, still involved with everybody, which is what you want your franchise quarterback to be. You want
Yeah.
him to be involved even when he's not in the game, to be on the sideline, riding with the guys as much as possible.
Hmm.
If we don't sign anybody, I know I wrote the one article about possibly Drew Aller,
Hmm.
because coming into the season he was projected to be a first round pick. With the injury and everything, he's his kind of trait is he's a mobile pocket passer, which I think that's very comparable to Daniel Jones.
Hmm.
So if, say, you do burn that pick on somebody like Aller, I think bringing Daniel Jones back on a 2-year deal would be about perfect. And whoever makes that pick, whoever signs that check, Do not make the same mistake as you made the first time. Let him sit.
Hmm.
Don't rush him into anything. Let him learn.
Right.
I think that'll be the best option. Probably bringing in a guy like Malik Willis or Daniel Jones to for on a 2 year deal just to get out of this, the without your first round pick to draft a quarterback. Bring those two guys in, draft a guy like Aller, or maybe if anyone else is available. I really haven't done too much. I kind of had my sights set on Aller. I like him. I like what he could possibly bring. I know some people have doubts about him, how
Hmm.
they say he's kind of robotic and everything.
Yeah, that's the
But
big criticism about him because it's like at this point, dude, if you're that guy, like college football should still matter to where your traits are important, but
yeah,
your traits shouldn't trump what's actually happening on the field. And I can see the criticism, but if you're but yeah, I don't know your team like you do. So if you think he can work out and if there are things that you're impressed with, but
mm-hmm.
that's why things like this is so important because I may see one thing, but you see the other, and it's like, all right, well, if they do it, let's see how it
Yeah,
goes.
and it's our offense is built off of so much. Like I love Steichen's scheme. Like it's heavy on the bootleg. It's
Hmm.
just play action RPO in general. And you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor, but if you just have a guy that's under center, that's just a slight threat to run.
Hmm.
Like you can't do this whole play action bootleg RPO with with Philip Rivers
Mm-mm.
taking the snap
No,
because the whole defense knows it's like, all right, we can take him taking off of the ball, take that out
right.
of the equation. That's not going to happen. You put a guy like AR, Daniel Jones, Aller, or Malik Willis, or anybody who can move a little bit, do that. I think they would have success. So I think there probably are a lot more options than just those four guys out there, but those are my main four that I think the Colts should really focus in on and
Hmm.
try to get one of those guys to have the success. I mean, you've had the success with Daniel Jones. You know what you got. I think he's the safe option if that's
Right.
what you want to go with, and then maybe draft somebody like a tackle or an edge rusher, or I'd be fine with a linebacker in the second round, something like that, and just to kind of really add that
Because you can still
depth
get
to the
you can
defensive
get a
side.
solid couple inside backers. Like this is where me and you're gonna have almost similar ideas of like I want the Panthers to pick up a solid inside backer in the either second or third round,
Mm-hmm.
possibly even the bottom of the first if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the biggest weakness beside edge rusher. I think that's one of the biggest weaknesses on the team. So I agree with you. And this is a good draft to where there's lots of linebackers that inside,
Mm-hmm.
they're just not, the value isn't there like it has been in the past.
Right. See, other than that, we got Houston next week. I pretty sure Riley Leonard's going to get the start. I don't. I think Phil's time's done. I mean, there's really no point for him to
Right.
go out there. I will say real quick because I know we're running out of time. If AR is healthy, please play him.
Hmm.
Please play him. That's let him get one under his belt. See what he does against that defense.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a 1 game sample. You're not going to know what you have, but
Right.
it at least gives you a baseline
Okay.
on what you got.
Okay. All right. Um, Before we wrap this up, let's for this upcoming week, what are some article ideas you're thinking about doing or sending out this week? Anything that fans should be looking out for?
I There's going to be one big one I'm going to try to wrap up before the end of December, so probably work on it tomorrow. Uh, Trading one of our heavy heavy offensive targets.
Okay.
I think there is one. I'll kind of give it a tease. It is in our receiver room. I don't think we can get anything first round for him,
Hmm.
but it could be a situation where you get a little bit more, early round draft capital, and it takes quite a bit off your. It gives you a nice salary dump to kind of open up the pockets a little bit to possibly spend a little bit more in free agency this year.
Okay. Okay. For myself, I'm gonna do something about Mr. XL, Xavier Leggett. I'm I'm waiting till the end of the year to send it out, but depending on, you know what, I'm just going to send it out this week. Who we should have, what's my issues with him, and why I think it hasn't been working out. Um, I think at the end of the day, he's a fan favorite. He's a good dude, but we need actual production. You can't be a fan favorite if you're still messing stuff up. And this is now the end of your second year. And obviously, I'll do something with some pre-draft stuff as well. So, I don't know if you saw, but 49ers won.
Yep, I
So,
got it up on the TV right here.
okay. Yeah, I just got
So
the
be careful
notification.
going back into the house right
Yeah,
there.
in case you don't realize, our in-laws are at my house right now, and our father-in-law is a big Bears fan, and he doesn't like when the Bears lose. So
And I
that
didn't catch to see what happened at the end, but it looks like Bears were driving and it ended in heartbreak. And it looks like Luther Burden is down, and that's not good
oh,
for the
okay,
Bears.
yeah, my text thread is going a little crazy right now with my guys, so
Mhm.
I'll check that out. But yeah, so just be so fans, go ahead and look at for us. Just real quick, just want to kind of celebrate this. We have as of right now, we've gotten over 10 subscribers. So if you're subscribed to us, that's huge. Obviously, that means
Thank
10
you.
people. No, seriously, like that means 10 people said, "Hey, we like this content, and we definitely want to keep watching it and subscribe to it." So don't forget to like, subscribe, share this out with friends and family, anybody who may be interested in just solid football content with two coaches with nothing to do but to talk football and complain, moan, celebrate, be excited about our separate teams. So,
Also, I'm gonna throw in here at the end. Kind of be looking out. I'm gonna kind of start getting back on Medium and writing some things, but it's gonna be more towards the baseball
okay.
sides of things because I talked to people with Last Word on Sports and they really want us just to focus on one thing at
Mm-hmm.
one time. So I'm just gonna get back on Medium, like where we started,
Yeah.
start writing up some baseball stuff. So you never know, we might get into some baseball discussion here as
Mm-hmm.
well.
And I still do some stuff on Medium myself, just more casual life things as well. So that'll be linked in the bottom below. So thank you so much, everybody. This is tonight's episode. Please like, subscribe, share, do what you got to do with it. Helps anything out, helps the algorithm. Just two young coaches who love to write, love to talk sports, and are related through marriage. So welcome to this is the end of the sports and laws. Peace.